People often say the worst things in life are the mistakes that we only realize when there is no way back. And for me it all started because of the eyes of a strange girl. Country market, bustling with people. A young man stopped, his eyes met a girl with long black hair, a pale face, smiling slightly and then disappearing into the crowd. And my name is Benedict. That year, I was 17 years old. Full of enthusiasm, curiosity and foolishness. Little best friend, Edward, and I only planned to go to the market, but at the end of the day we got lost in a place that had never been on the map. The scene blurred, showing an image of a strange village, silent houses, people who never look you straight in the eye. A village where no one smiles genuinely. People don't live there, they hide. And the shadow behind each door may not be human. Edward and Benedict stealthily follow the girl on the tricycle. The night is dark, the fog is thick. The wind whistles through the leaves. And then when the woods began to whisper, when the ivy was no longer starry, and when the first siren rang out in the night, I knew I had gone too far. Shortcut, a giant winged creature swoops down, its claws tearing the air. Edward screams. Blood splatters. The screen goes black. It wasn't an adventure. It was an invitation from the darkness. Digmaan ng dalawang lahi, niya blood eliri. In the summer of 1995, when I had just turned 17, I made a mistake that almost cost me my life. As Southeast Asian village, the sun was dry, the cicadas were chirping. Benedict, messy hair, scholarly figure, carrying a basket of vegetables, and Edward were laughing and joking in the market. And my name is Benedict. And this is Edward, my best friend since elementary school. We lived in a small town where everyone knew each other and every secret had a price. A soft whistle, the wind picked up. Benedict's eyes stopped when he saw girl Stella passing Nilay. Fair skin, long hair, eyes that pierced the crowd. She passed him like cold wine. And then I saw her. Unlike anyone I had ever met. That look was not simply beautiful. It called my name. From that moment, everything in my life began to go wrong. Edward grimaces as Benedict chases Stella through the stalls. She disappears quickly. Edward grumbling again. You broke up less than 2 weeks ago. Benedict stammering, it's not what you think. There's something different about her. Like she doesn't belong here. Sunset. Benedict sneaks up on Stella leaving the market on tricycle. He decides to rent another one to follow her, dragging Edward along on the fateful trip. I can't stop. In my head, there's only her. And I believe if I don't find her, I'll lose my mind. A named village. A small road leading to an unfamiliar village. The tricycle slows down. The trees on both sides are dense. No signs. No people. Edward, shuddering, hey, don't you think it's too quiet? No dogs, no children, not even the smell of people. That village as if it had not been born from the earth, but from a bad dream. They passed through the village gate made of dry branches, with garlic vines tied in clusters on the doors. The villagers look at them with strange eyes, not greeting, not speaking. The doors closed behind us one. No one welcomed us, but no one chased us away either. As if they were waiting for something. Night falls, key-winged Emmy. Night scene, moonlight peeking out from behind the trees. Benedict and Edward are lost in the trails. The wind blows hard, whispering like children's voices singing. A dark shadow swoops down. Edward screaming, "Here! Jump ye!" A sharp scratching sound cuts through the air. Edward's hand is badly scratched. Blood splatters onto Benedict's face. A huge winged creature, with blood-red eyes and long claws, circles around their heads. Benedict grabs a branch, lashes it, the creature roars and flies away. It's not a bird. It's not a bat. It's hungry. And Edward almost late-night snack. The driver, last light. The two boys run through the woods. When they're exhausted, they sit panting on the side of the road. The engine starts in the distance. A tricycle stops. It's Mang Enteng, the driver, aged with a stern but kind face. Mang Enteng, for God's sake, what are you doing in that dead zone? Get in the car. The tricycle speeds along the dirt road. Benedict looks back through the window, sees Stella standing there, in the moonlight, motionless, her eyes no longer human. Narrator. I thought I was free. But in fact, it was only the first invitation from a world not meant for humans. Tells. We thought we had escaped. But the darkness, once it has marked someone, it will not let go easily. Stella, ye demi-wade keeps Lily off. The scene changes to daytime. Benedict wanders near the fields, unexpectedly meeting Stella again. Eli, clump of reeds. Stella, looking down, voice low. You shouldn't have come back here. What you saw that night was just the beginning. The camera zooms in on Stella's eyes, in which the pupils briefly turn red and then disappear. Benedict. I need to know, what are you? You are not human. Stella, tears welling up. I am half human. Lily blood carries the curse of early ancestors. But I swear, I will never eat human flesh. Flashback, Stella's childhood, forced to drink animal blood, locked in cellar every full moon night. The narration is mixed with the sound of the wind and the faint screams. Katumbas equals a narrator. The Aswangs erase that lives among us. They are humans during the day. At night, they live on the smell of blood. But not everyone chooses the path of killing. Village laws and leaves. Scene of Benedict and Edward being led to the big house in the middle of the village, where the elders meet. A long wooden table, cold faces, calculating gazes. Elder, deep, hard voice. Your blood is clean. The girl chose you. The blood of the two of you will save this race from extinction. Edward, startled. They want to force you to marry. Benedict. No, they want to keep me. As a purebird. Stella stands silently in the corner, her eyes desperate. An elder pulls out leather contract, fresh blood dripping onto each letter. Katumbas equals a narrator. Anyone who leaves the village without permission will be hunted or cursed to death. Silent resistance. Stella secretly leads Benedict and Edward to her uncle Turo, a healer ostracized Ila the village for opposing killing. Turo, hoarsely. Not everyone with Aswang blood chooses to kill. But here to choose otherwise is to be seen as a traitor. He gives them an amulet made of ancient tree roots and goat blood. The deal, if they leave the village, they must leave on a moonless night when the Aswang are at their weakest. Stella, taking Benedict's hand. Go. If you stay, you will no longer be yourself. Benedict, choking. And you? Stella. You were cursed from the day you were born. Ye night escape, ye door that doesn't open twice. A breathless escape scene. Stella leads them through the bamboo forest, wading through streams, avoiding the oil lamps hanging on wooden stakes, the village's guard post, soft hissing sound overhead, like claws scratching at the thatched roof. Edward almost steps into the trap. Turu uses a signal fire from afar to distract them. They narrowly escape as half-human, half-bat creatures slither out of the darkness. That night, I first understood what it meant to run for my life. But what left behind was not the village, but an unfulfilled oath. They collapse to the ground at the roadside, exhausted, as the first light of dawn appears. Stella is not with them. Not all demons come out at night. Some take human form. It is a strange feeling. Scene of Benedict waking up in a thatched cottage, sunlight filtering through the trees. Edward is lying beside him, his hand lightly bandaged. An elderly woman stands silently at the window. He says, "We were rescued, Stella, after the terrible attack that night. But instead of feeling safe, I felt cold. Cold to the bone." Scene changes to night. Benedict peeks through the crack in the door. Stella is bowing before a small altar, holding a bowl of fresh blood. She doesn't drink. Stella, whispering, not knowing if anyone is listening. "I apologize to annoy ancestors but can't kill. Ye truth about blood." The next day, Stella leads Benedict and Edward to a cave deep in the mountains. On the walls are ancient charcoal drawings, human-beast hybrids, but wings, claws. In the darkness, a hoarse voice speaks, "Turo, Stella's uncle. Turo, you are standing on the land of the Aswangs, creatures that have lived alongside humans for hundreds of years." Edward, Eunice. "You mean all the people in this village are?" Turo, nodding. "They used to be human. But after so many generations, they forgot that." Fast forward, men and women in the village bowing their heads to drink from bowls of blood every full moon. Children with unusually long fingernails. Whispers that seem to come from the underworld. A bloodline proposal. Scene of village meeting. Elders in black robes, eyes glowing red, sitting around a stone table. An old man offers contract made of animal skin. Elder. Benedict is of pure blood, strong, pure. You must stay. Marry Stella and produce the next generation. Benedict, angry. Do you think I'm a male in a cage? Stella, in a low voice. Don't fight them, they won't let you leave here alive. Edward drags Benedict outside. Tension is high. The whole village seems to be watching them. Eyes, footsteps, knocking on doors are heard everywhere. Nearly silent revolution. In an abandoned house, Turo and Stella discuss their plans. Turo gives Edward and Benedict 2 amulets wrapped in human hair and black dog blood. Turo. The Aswang hate dogs. Dog blood and living human hair will mask your scent. Stella, holding Benedict's hand. I can't go with you. But if you escape, forget me. Benedict, choking. I won't leave you among the animals. Night, everyone. The isle is moonless. The two friends are groping through the woods. The sound of insects fades. In the distance, there is the sound of claws scratching at a tree trunk. A shadow swoops down, the charm makes it stagger and retreat. Stella is behind, trying to hold off the elders. Turo sets fire to the old sanctuary to distract them. Benedict and Edward jump into a ravine, rolling on rocks. Excellence, new beginning. Down. The two lie collapsed on the side of the road. A driver stops, it's Mang Enteng. He silently helps them into the car. Benedict looks back into the woods. Stella is standing there, the sunlight shining through her, creating a strange aura. He says, "That village is no longer on the map. But in me it will always be a scar." And Stella, she is not human but has a heart more human than most. The image of a ball of blood falling and breaking at the feet of an elder. A scream echoing in the night. A final whisper. The blood has chosen you. The war has only just begun. You're asking about the scariest thing I've ever heard. Not mine but my grandfather's memory. His name was Atong. The screen fades to the 1970. The scene is old. Atong, a naive teenager, is wandering with the old man Mangbonal, a famous wandering healer who cures snake bites and strange wounds. A scene of Atong and Mangbonal entering a strange town in the middle of the sunset. Rows of low wooden houses, people wearing masks while cooking, the smell of grilled meat filling the air. They came to a strange place, not many people went. There was a famous restaurant there, Karinderya ni Manang Rusing. People said, once you eat there you will never forget the taste. Small restaurant, long wooden tables, crowded with customers even though it was only Lima Yag. Thin, gray-haired woman named Rusing ladled thick red soup from a large pot. The sound of the spoon hitting the pot was like metal hitting bone. Atong, whispering, "Lela, is the meat here so soft? Like it has no fibers, no tendons." Mangbonel, frowning, "And I don't see anyone in this village raising chickens, pigs, cows. Ye Rivers Lock Guest House." Rusing suggests they stay in the room behind the restaurant. Only 3 pesos a night. Too cheap to be real. The door is locked from the outside. No latch inside. The hallway is as empty as a graveyard. Midnight. Shuffling footsteps, groans from the next room. Atong peeks through the keyhole, sees a man with his hands tied, a gag in his mouth, crying. He says, "They don't sell meat. They hunt for meat." Discovering giddy truth. Mangbonal asks to check the kitchen, under the pretext of asking for hot water. When he is brought in, he drops a bag of medicinal powder next to the pot of soup. Taking advantage of the moment when Manang Rusing turns his back, he quietly opens the lid of another pot. Close-up shot, a human hand, intact from the wrist down, still wearing a ring, floats in the red soup. Atong runs outside to vomit. Mangbonel drags him away. Mangbonel, gritting his teeth. We are in the middle of the Aswang's lair. And they eat people openly. They hid behind the house, secretly reporting to a local police station chief. At first no one believed them, until Atong led them back that night. Scene of the raid, the police stormed in at 4 am. The stove was still on fire. In the back room, they found 3 bodies with their organs missing, a woman still alive and chained. The police opened the lids of each large pot. Blood, bones, fresh human organs. A policeman collapsed in shock. The villagers discovered the truth. Anger flared. Some brought straw, others brought oil. Just a few hours later, the restaurant and the inn were completely burned down. Last image, the fire burned high, screams from inside, not human, echoed in the night like the howls of animals being burned alive. A. Narrated Benedict. They say fire can burn the flesh, but the essence lives on survive. And if you smell meat roasting too well in a place where there are no animals, turn around. Benedict's son looked at his father hauntedly. Son, so is Grandpa alive? Benedict, alive but not child anymore. The clock ticks. The night scene passes, the door of the room opens, and a whisper from the darkness. The meat is tender because it begged not to be killed. I ran away from the ghosts of the past. But there was one thing I couldn't run away from was love. The door opens. Bianca appears, long black hair, sad eyes that seem to know all the secrets of the world. She smiles slightly. The scene cuts quickly to Benedict's visits to her house, the silent but profound conversations. Needy family, needy senses. One afternoon, Benedict witnesses Bianca's grandmother, Aling Concha, placing her hand on the belly of a pregnant woman. Aling Concha, mumbling, "It's a girl." Her heart is beating a little slower than usual. It will be a little difficult to give birth, but the mother and child will be safe. The woman, shocked, "How did you know?" Bianca, whispering, "My grandmother sees things that other people can't see." Fast forward, Bianca's mother guesses the thoughts of the person in front of her. Her brother draws another person's dream. Benedict begins to fear, but he can't take his eyes off them. "I don't know what they are, but I'm sure they're not normal." One day, as Benedict takes Bianca for a walk through the village market, the villagers whisper, turning away. A child stumbles, his mother pulls him up, glancing at Bianca as if looking at a corpse. Villager, the daughter of a flesh-eating family. The blood is not clean. Seen at night. Bianca's door is stone. A word written in chicken blood is clearly visible, Aswang. Bianca cries but doesn't resist. Benedict kisses her hand. "Benedict, we don't need them to believe. Just trust me." Full moon night. A mob with machetes and clubs marches to Bianca's house. The chants are loud. They'll suck the blood of the whole village. "We must burn that demon family." Chaos, the door is broken. Benedict stands in front of Bianca. Empress Concha trembles and holds out a handful of salt and an ash branch. "Aling Concha, I have lived for 80 years, I have never harmed anyone. If LA blood is demon blood, let the lightning strike me down." At that moment, the big bell of the village rings. An old woman, stepping out of the darkness, it is the female village head, Capitana Marisa. Capitana Marisa, loudly. "You think you are killing Aswang, but you are willing to kill an unborn child. Are you protecting the village or killing the hearts of people?" The crowd quiets down. Some people start to put down their sticks. A man, trembling with tears, kneels down. My daughter was saved Eli and res concha last year. If you are demon, then demons are more humane than us. The air dissipates like smoke. The villagers retreat silently. Benedict, Bianca, and their families remain shaken but intact. The next morning, Benedict and Capitana stand looking down at the village. Capitana Marisa. This village once burned a woman because she was too beautiful, and her husband died suddenly. But believe the most terrifying demon is the infatuation in the human heart. Benedict, pondering. So if I marry Bianca, what will be in their eyes? Capitana, smiling. Proof that blood does not determine who you are. The screen fades. The words appear. True love does not choose species. Nungla's sister, Delia, is carrying a child unlike any other born in this village. Not because the father has left, but because that child is being hunted. The Benedict family is surrounded by strange omens. The salt scattered around the house is being washed away. The rooster crows in the middle of the night, and the smell of old blood rises from the well. Emra Leonora, the blind old woman who guards the village. Tonight they will come. They want that belly. Not Delia, but the child. Mang Bonel, older, with sharp eyes. That child bears a double mark, human blood and demon blood. He could be a savior or a curse. Delia lies in bed, gasping, in early labor. Her eyes are wild. The house is surrounded by charms, salt, and a cross of ash. Legal hunt begins. A scene of a late-night forest. Tall, thin figures, white-eyed, long-armed, moving like ghosts across the ground. Leading the way is Mang Dodong, who was banished from the Aswang village for eating newborn babies. He has returned to claim the promised child. Mang Dodong growls. The scent of mixed blood is calling. He will be the new king. And he belongs to us. Confrontation Yan Ie Forest. Benedict, Mang Bonel, Nra Leonora, and few village boys with primitive weapons, spears soaked in dove blood, fig tree charms, dried garlic, and horsehair strings. They enter the forest. A tells. I don't know who I am anymore. A human, a survivor, or the brother of a man who is about to give birth to a demon king. A bloody battle scene. Mang Dodong leaps from a treetop, killing the village soldier. Leonora chants a spell in gasp. A bolt of lightning streaks across the highway as she drives a steel spike into an Aswang's heart. Benedict is nearly strangled, but is stunned by Delia's uncanny power as she cries out in labor. The blood on her belly glows. Burning Man Evie cursed house. Benedict takes Delia to a house that the villagers once said was a place where no one can survive the night. But that very place, when properly enchanted, would be a death trap for demons. Mang Dodong catches up. The final confrontation. Delia begins to give birth. Blood flows onto the floor, forming an enchantment. Mang Bonel lights a fire with a pile of incense soaked in dove oil. The fire burns fiercely. Mang Dodong, before he turns to ash. You can keep it forever. Blood will call blood. He is burned alive. The screams melt into the flames. A baby as born, ancient mark. Delia gives birth to a baby boy. The baby does not see right. He opens his eyes, and his eyes are not just one color. One eye is brown, one is red. The eye brightens. The wine stops. Digmaan in a black cloak appears at the entrance of the house, Armando. Armando, in a low voice. I am the father of the baby. And I have not come to take him but to hand over this. He gives Benedict an ancient amulet engraved with both the cross and the claws. Two worlds in one. Armando. If one day he loses control, this will be the last barrier between him and the darkness. The baby grows. Its eyes look into the forest where something is whispering. The screen darkened as a child's voice softly spoke. I heard them calling me, but I lay in blood. We saved the child. But the curse never really ended. It just changed form. If you were born between two worlds, which one would you belong to?